A new MacArthur Foundation poll shows that most Americans believe it is more likely for people to fall out of the middle class than actually climb into it, with only 14% saying that working-class Americans are more likely to scale the ladder. I want to bring in Peter Kiernan. He is American Mojo author and former Goldman Sachs partner. Peter, it's great to have you on the show today.
Wonderful to be here.
So you have this new book, American Mojo, Lost and Found. Tell us about it.
Well, basically what's happened is the middle class has changed from sort of an inert block to something that acts a little more like an atom with a core group and then millions of electrons, people passing in and out of the middle class. And I've written a book to try and focus people. We have 20 people, more or less, running for president or about to. Everyone has the middle class as a centerpiece of their strategy, and no one's really being specific about what to do. My book is going to tell people what questions to ask and how to probe these candidates.
What are the questions to ask? How do you restore the middle class?
Well, I think one of the things you have to do is have the passion to move heaven and earth to create jobs. That we have basically been way too satisfied by creating low-level, entry-level jobs.
But that's the thing. That's the debate. Everybody wants to create jobs, but how do you do it? Do you create an environment where businesses can create jobs and have an environment where, you know, lower taxes, or do you do it by the bottom up?
Okay, that's a great question, because most of the people who are advocating for creating new jobs have no idea how to do it. They've never done it in their lives. Let me give you an example of an easy one. Today, there are 4 million great jobs available in the United States unfilled. Those jobs don't need to be created. They need to be filled. And what's marvelous about those jobs, they're multiplier jobs. If someone gets hired to that spot, 2 or 3 other jobs can be created as a result. There's 8 million jobs sitting there. I know in our Congress, in the people in the White House, we have the capacity to figure out how to fill those 4 million jobs.
So why, I mean, just a simple question, like, why aren't they filled? Well, you can walk around Manhattan, there are people in the street all the time with their little...
I think it's skill sets.
Yesterday, I was walking down Fifth Avenue here in the 30s. I saw people, and they said it. I'm 27 years old and I'm homeless. I'm 17 years old. Like, why aren't they getting these jobs?
Well, let me go directly to your point. If you think of every soul living in Los Angeles and Philadelphia, that's how many people there are between the ages of 16 and 25 who I call NEETs, not in employment, education, or training. If you go down to DeKalb Avenue right here, you will see there are young people sitting around with nothing to do. There has to be a program to try and get these folks, because they're not.
Is that a government program or a private sector program?
I think it's got to be a private sector program. I don't think that the government, the way to use the 1% is as a flex factor. They have the power to bridge things that can't be filled. They can do training programs to help people who don't have the skills to fill those 4 million jobs. That's a skills gap problem. There's a different problem with these NEETs. They are basically young people, and education isn't going to solve it for them. If I'm 22, I've been out of school for 6 years, I don't read up and have math at grade level, I'm not going back to school with 15-year-olds. It has to be a private sector solution.
Yeah.
Just one last thing. Is the American spirit still alive to go out and just create and create your own thing, build businesses, create jobs, and actually be successful, and with success comes riches?
There has never been a greater time. If you look at it, every minute women start a new business every minute of every day in this country. That's another one of the flex factors. There is more energy and enthusiasm. Anyone has any data, go out to the Silicon Valley. Yeah. Go to these places. People are sparkling with ideas. They're dying to work. This has been found. We have this mojo. It is there. We lack the will and the courage. We did it after World War II.
That is a shame.
We can do it today.
Peter, can you give me an example of a private sector solution to creating these jobs?
I'll give you a simple one. Everyone who's a 1%er has the ability to hire somebody. Just hire one more person. Hire one more person in your company. Deliberately hire a veteran who needs training. Deliberately go find one of these NEETs who needs training. Deliberately find a 40-year-old out-of-work machinist who's living in Flint, Michigan, and bring them to your town and hire them. This is the job. The trouble with people, they paint jobs. I love talking about jobs. You can tell. Jobs thoroughly energize me. It's not done with broad brush. It's pointless. It's one-to-one. One person saying, you're hired. I like you for this job. I'm going to train you. Yeah. That's how it gets done. Engaging the 1% in this and business is the way to solve this problem.
All right, we'll leave it there. Leave it on a positive note. Peter, great insights. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much.
Peter Kiernan joining us, author of the book, American Mojo, Lost and Found.